Hello there everyone and welcome to our September 2025 fall reveal. In this fabulous release we have some beautiful cozy designs. We are letting in the autumn splendor and we really hope you join us. Let's take a look at the designs. So first up we have our Craft Your Life project kit, and this is the Sweet Harvest. This is so cute. So in the kit itself, in the Craft Your Life project kit, you're going to get a 6x8 stamp set, a die set, a 3D embossing folder, and also a stencil set. With this one we also have an add-on die set that you can purchase separately to kind of add into this bundle. So first up, let's take a look at the stamp set. You can see that we have this beautiful apple image here on a branch and tons of different sentiments around the outside. As usual with our packaging, you're going to get tons of inspiration, and also you're going to get to see how the stamp set is going to work with the layering stencil set. So there we go there. That is the stamp set. Then we have the die set. In the die set you have the cutest layering pie. You're going to get a full pie, and you're also going to get a pie slice, as well as some little cinnamon sticks, some apples, and this cooling tray that you can see here. We do have our fabulous packaging on this, so you're going to have your piece of acetate with the dies attached, and we also have the printing on the acetate so you can see exactly where your dies need to go back on. As well as that, we have a 3D embossing folder. So the image on here is some kind of linen squares or linen napkins, and that's the effect that you're going to get with that background 3D embossing folder. Then we have the simple colouring stencil set. Two of these are going to colour in the image from the stamp set. And then you also have two different ones to create some fabulous backgrounds with as well. So you also have the option to get the add-on die set as well. So that's going to cut around the large image from the stamp set and also the large sentiments on there as well. Here is a project that I have created using most of the elements that you can see. We have the stamp and the stencil used for the apple. We have the background 3D embossing folder. We also have the layering die set and also a sentiment. Right, next up we have our Builder Garden, and this is the Fanciful Pansies. This is such a beautiful set. So in the Builder Garden kit, you're going to get a stamp set, which is 4x6. You're also going to get a simple colouring stencil set, a die set, and also our iconic mini blending brush included as well. So let's take a look at the stamp set. You can see that we have this large, beautiful floral cluster of some pansies, as well as some sentiments around the outside. As usual, we do have some inspiration in the guide, as well as the layering guide within the stamp packaging. As well as that, you're also going to get the layering stencil set. In here we have 4 stencils, and these are all 4.5 by 6 inches, and they are going to colour in the pansy that you have in the stamp set. As well as that, we also have the die set included. This is going to cut around the large image and also the sentiments that we have as well. And like I said before, you're also going to get our iconic little blending brush there. Here you go. I have a project with this set. You can see that I've used the large stamp as well as the stencils to colour this in. What I've then done is cut down the middle and added the image on 2 parts of a panel to create a different look with the stamp. Next up we have our crafter flower, and this is the Asters layering die set. This is so pretty. This is the birth flower for September, so if you have any September birthdays, this may be one that you want to grab quickly and start creating with it right away. You can see that we have 3 different large flowers. Then we also have a stem with a smaller kind of bud flower on there as well. We do have the fabulous keyhole system on the dies here, and you can see that we have different holes for the different flowers, so you're able to kind of put these together really quickly and easily. Again, that's on an acetate that you are then able to kind of pop your dies back onto. We do have the layering guide right on the back of the packaging, so you're able to see how these to go together really quickly and easily. I have created a card with this fabulous Asters die, and I just love how these turned out. You can see that I have created a purple pink flower with some ink blending, and then just some different green leaves around the outside. Really does make a really pretty card. Next up, we have our creative cuts, and for this month we have the fresh Pears layering die set. You can see that you're going to be able to create this look with the dies that you have in this packet, and these are all the dies that you are going to receive. Again, we do have the keyhole system on this, so you can quickly and easily pop all of the elements together to create some beautiful fruity looks with this one. Again, we have that acetate piece that you can then add your dies back onto. On the back of the packaging, we do have the layering guide, and this is going to show you how you can use the pears singly or with that branch, so you can kind of create some different looks there. I am going to bring my card in. I have used a little bit of watercolor on this to create more of a realistic look to the pears, but you can definitely use these just with some colored cardstock to create some really beautiful projects. Next up, we have our stencil art, and this is Aspen Sky. This is very different, very cool, and would work for all different occasions. In the stencil set, we have 6 6x6 stencils, and what these are going to do is create a beautiful look of a tree that you're looking up at. So I am going to show you the stencils. They're all the stencils that you are going to get, but when I open this up, you're going to be able to see the image that you're going to be able to create. So we do have the layering guide in here, so you can create this really cool look on there. I will bring in my project. I created more of a autumn tree. So you can see that I've used some yellowy gold colors for the leaves, and then created either a sunset sky on the back or a sunrise. I think it's more of a sunset, but I love the color combinations that I have gotten with the ink blending on this. Next up in the Marvelous Monthly series, we have our mini delight, and this one is the Garden Friend. So in the die set, in this, you're going to get a number of different leaves all connected together, which you can then cut out separately. And then we have a little cluster of acorns and a singular acorn as well. As well as that, we also have a layering stamp set. Now this is a 4x3 stamp set, and you have the most adorable little chipmunk on this. This is so cute. And it was so easy to put together as well. You can see here that I've used the chipmunk, and I've also used a couple of the leaves in the background to create kind of a little leaf bed for the little cute chipmunk to sit on. Next up, we have Autumn Whispers. Now this is a sentiment and silhouette stamp set. You can see here that it's a 6x8, and half of it is roughly covered with some really beautiful kind of seasonal sentiments, and then the other half we have some silhouettes of different types of leaves. Within the packaging, I'm just going to open this up, and you can see that we have tons of inspiration on how to use this. And we also have a die set available. For the die set, this is going to cut around all of the leaves that we have in the stamp set. And I just love how kind of seasonal this is. It has such a cozy theme as well. I have just created a beautiful wreath with the leaves in this stamp set, and then I've used one of the sentiment stamps, with a strip sentiment to create a more of a customized sentiment for this one. Next up, we have Majestic Maple Tree, and this is a layering die set. In here, we have 4 different dies which layer together to create this beautiful seasonal tree. You can see here when I open up the packaging that it is a large die set. The layered die itself is quite sizable. And we also have the layering guide on the back. We do have a couple of different points to layer this up with, but we do have the keyhole system to help you out with that. I'm just going to quickly bring in my sample that I created with this one. I did go a little bit different, and I have used some purpley pink cardstock to create the leaves to give the look of blossom. You could definitely use this for a autumn tree, a spring tree like we have here, a summer tree with green leaves. Also, you can use the tree trunk and branches by itself to give yourself a winter tree as well. So lots of different ways to use this one. Next up, we have a Fireside Escape. This is so cute. In here, we have lots of dies which are going to layer together to create 2 different Adirondack chairs, and we also have a fire pit with some flames. You can see in the packaging that we have all of the elements kind of grouped together for the different portions of the image. We also have the keyhole system on here, so you're able to kind of put these together really quickly and easily. We do have the layering guide on the back to help you out with die placement too. I'll just bring in my project here. You can see that I've used both of the chairs that you can see. I have the fire pit and also the little flame going on there. You can use this to create many different scenes, be that in the autumn, winter, or summer like I have here. Next up, we have an essential die set, and this is Nesting Circles die set. So if you haven't got any nesting circles in your stash, I would recommend that you grab this one with your purchases. Now in here, we have 17 different dies which are going to enable you to die cut 17 concentric circles. Lots that you can do with this. You can use it to create frames, you can use it to make shaker cards, or for different layers as well. I do have a project with this. I just had a 3D embossing folder. I've cut out 3 different circles from it and then just added color to that. So this is really going to help if you are trying to get that ellipse kind of look with your projects. Next up, we have the Crispy Leaves die set. I do think that this is another essential, especially for fall and autumn cards. We have 3 different leaves in here. They are going to die cut and also add in this embossed detail in one pass through your die cutting machine. We do have some inspiration on the back on how you can use this to create a beautiful background. I have used mine in a slightly different way. What I've done is I've cut out the same leaf a couple of times, colored it in with some different colors, and then created a wreath. Next up, we have a press plate, and this is the Essential Textures Fine Wood Grain. This is such an essential press plate, and I love it so much. You can see here that we have a large press plate design, and I believe this is 5 by 7. You can see that it is a huge piece of metal for this one, and we have this beautiful wood grain texture. Now, as this is a better press plate, you can use this with your inks. You can also use it with no ink to get just the texture in some cotton cardstock, and you can also foil with this as well. I do have a project with this, and you can see just how beautiful that background is, and it has a beautiful texture as well as the inking. I just love this, and I know that I'm going to use this again and again. We do have another press plate in this release, and this is the One Go Solid Sentiment Strips 3. So 1 and 2 were very, very popular, and this is going to be our gratitude edition. So we have lots of thank you sentiments in this one. You're able to use this for inking and also foiling as well. To die cut the images, you're going to use the One Go Solid Sentiment Strips die, which was previously released, and it will work with all 3 of the press plates. Here you can see that I've just used 3 of those fabulous sentiments, and these have just been inked with metallic ink. Next up, we have Woodland Path. Now, this is a 3D embossing folder and also simple colouring stencil combo. Now, that being said, you can use these separately, but they do work perfectly together. For the 3D embossing folder, you can see that we have this beautiful kind of woodland motif. From the bottom, we have some mushrooms in here, we have some acorns, and also some leaves. If I pop this over, you can see that we have the kind of background that you're going to be able to create with that. We also have the simple colouring stencil set. In here we have 3 different stencils, and that is going to colour in the embossed image from the 3D embossing folder. We do have the layering guide in there to help you kind of put that together. Here is my project. I have used the 3D embossing folder, die cut a circle using the Nesting Circles die set. I've coloured in this image, then popped it back in, and then add a sentiment from the fabulous One Go Sentiment Strips 3. Next up, we have a standalone 3D embossing folder, and I think this has got to be the most detailed and tactile 3D embossing folder I have ever seen. This is the Cozy Sweater. You can see here that we have a 3D 6x6 embossing folder, and this looks like it's been knitted. So it's like a cable knit jumper. So much detail in this. It is just stunning. I am going to turn this over so you can see the kind of look that you're going to get with that, but that does not do this 3D embossing folder any justice. Here I have a project, and you can see just how much detail and texture there is in that. Just for a little bit of the sound, but you can see that you have all of the tiny little knitted images on all over this. It is so pretty, so versatile, and I know that you're going to use this all the way from winter to spring, summer, and even autumn. We also have a standalone stencil in this release as well, and this is the Checkerboard tiles. This is a 6x6 background stencil. You can use this just by itself, but then if you wanted to, you could also kind of spin it around or flip it to get different effects on different pieces of the checkerboard effect. Great one for adding a little bit of a subtle background to all of your projects. You can also use it as a border down the side of a card or even a scrapbook page. So you asked for these, so we have brought them. It has been a while, but we really did want to bring in some more metallic inks to our ink family, and we have the silver, the platinum, and the bronze. These are all highly pigmented and very juicy, and also very filled with that metallic shine. I will just rub these down a piece of cardstock so you can kind of see the color differences that we have here. So this is the silver, and there we go. I'm just going to rub that down. You can see that we have that beautiful silver color there, and we have that fabulous shine. We also have the platinum. So that is the platinum on there, and you can see that that's a warmer type of silver color, maybe a really cool gold color. And then we also have the bronze. I have to say, I love all of these colors, and they're all very different, and I know that you're going to be able to use these in lots of different projects. So here are just a few of the fabulous projects made by our designers and guest designers. We really do hope that you've seen something in here that inspires you and makes you want to create something beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye. Loved watching this video. There is more where that came from here on the Altenew official YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button so you don't miss out on any of the crafty fun. See you soon, and happy crafting.